Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's message, I'm going to be talking about sticking with God throughout the process to allow Him to change you. The reason I'm going to be going into this message is because sometimes we do give up too soon and we don't allow God to do the work in us. We don't allow Him enough time to actually change us and help us, because the time may have passed, our human timeline, the time frame that we thought that God would have been finished by. There's many of those moments where we can feel frustrated and we come to those decisions where we're like, oh, okay, God, you're taking too long. I'm tired of waiting. I haven't seen the changes that I want to see in myself yet. I haven't seen this change in my life yet. I'm still stuck in this habit. And it can be a temptation for us to want to give up and go off and do our own thing and just quit the process with God. So I'm just going to be sharing with you guys out there a bit of the process in my life that God has been doing with me in the last 2.5 years to 3 years or so since I've been a believer. So there has been many times where I have had the opportunity to completely walk away from God, to give in to the frustration because of the process and not seeing the things that I want to see take place yet. And definitely it has been longer than what I had expected in my own mind and the time frame that I put on everything. But the reason why I've chosen to stick with God yet throughout all these frustrations and everything and wait on Him is because I have seen His faithfulness to me, and I have seen how He has worked in my life, how He has changed all my mindsets, all the wrong mindsets that I actually grew up to believing. Like, God has healed me from a poverty mindset. There's one thing that a lot of Christians believe, that God actually wants us to be poor. Well, He actually doesn't. He came to give us an abundance in life. And He doesn't want us to be struggling financially. How can we be a blessing to someone else if we are struggling in our finances? That's not true. But this was always something I struggled with, because growing up in my family, I always had the belief that I never had enough. Money was my security, and I was always afraid that I would lose the amount of money that I was making, or I'd just be really scared about my finances. But God has actually healed me of that now, and I have a calmness about my finances now, thanks to Jesus. That's just one example of a mindset that He was working in me to change in the last couple of years. He has also delivered me from a failures mentality, and that's another thing that you can, fall into because of, depending on the type of family you grew up in, depending on all your life experiences, maybe you have an expectation of failure. And so in the last few years, God has been changing my mind and healing my mind so that I don't expect failure anymore. And He wanted to cleanse me of that mindset completely. And just seeing Him do this in me has made me want to keep sticking with Him no matter what. In these last couple of years, God has been changing all my mindsets so I am able to come into alignment with what He wants for me and His will for my life. And it is actually much better than what I was thinking, because at those times I was only able to receive what my mindset, my beliefs were allowing me to receive from God. So He wanted to change that. And I'm so glad that I have been sticking with Him in the process. Hence why I'm here sharing this message to help encourage other people out there who feel like quitting and walking away from Jesus because it's gone on far longer than what you had expected in your own time frame. So I just wanted to say, all God requires of us is faith and trust in Him to keep working in our lives and to continue working in our lives. That is the only thing that He requires from us. We don't need to work on changing our habits, trying to change our behaviors and turning from sinful ways. Whilst that is important, Jesus actually wants to get to the root of what is causing us to be in these sinful behaviors. Why are we struggling with, for example, turning away from alcoholism or partying or pornography, for example? A lot of Christians believe that you have to change your behaviors and the habits, which is an area where you can get stuck in, because if you don't understand why you are going to that pornography, why you are turning to that alcohol, then you're going to keep doing it, even if you are a believer, even if you are walking with Jesus. He actually wants to get in there, to get to the root cause of why you are turning to those things in the first place. Usually it is because of a trauma, attachment wounds from when you're really young, from your parents, all sorts of reasons. But God is so good that he looks beyond that. He wants to actually fix you and heal you as a whole person, and the transformation starts from the inside first, working its way outwardly in your life. And once those root causes are dealt with, those sinful habits and desires will just fall off automatically. It's not by striving, it's not by effort on your behalf. It's all God who does it for you. So I know many Christians can get stuck in that trap, thinking that they've got to be perfect and they've got to keep their sinful behaviors under control. But God will get you there, and He will do a deep work in you to allow those behaviors to fall off you naturally without you putting in so much effort. You just got to trust and believe in God and go through the process with Him. I'm here to encourage those of you out there who are feeling just frustrated with this process with Jesus, because maybe you don't have an understanding. Maybe you're feeling frustrated that you can't seem to overcome a habit that you've been trying to get out of for a while. Maybe you're struggling with that addiction. But I'm just here to remind you not to give up on God, not to stop asking for His help. Don't stop asking for His help. Keep seeking Him, and He is faithful to deliver you completely out of the wrong mindsets and to help you overcome whatever it is that you're facing. God will be with you until the end. He wants to see you overcome that addiction. He wants to see you move past whatever it is that you're struggling with. And He will be there to carry you through until the end. He will bring to you whatever it is that you need in terms of prophetic words, sermons for whatever it is that you're struggling with. He might speak to you through a sermon that you're watching online, and you've heard something there that completely delivers you out of that mindset and has given you an answer to something that you've been struggling with. So don't quit. Don't walk away from the process with Jesus. Understand that His timing is very different from what we believe that should happen or how fast things should take place. We're all different, and God knows what we need and how long it's going to take. And when you come into those moments of frustration, just focus on the fact that God really does care for you, and he really does want to help you to overcome whatever it is that you're struggling with or facing. And I hope that this has encouraged someone out there today.